You guys had just defeated, an unheld beholder, a flesh golem, a necromancer, and this old area of the college that had been blocked off for a while. Um, the person who used to be a student of the necromancer 1,000 years ago retrieved something from his corpse and then got all shifty about it. At which point, you guys felt you really couldn't trust her anymore. Um, the player is not able to be here this week and did tell me that they do wish to play a different character for next session. So, I had you in the wrong spot. I need to drag you guys over again. So, as for that, we kind of worked out what's going to happen there. She's heading away from the rest of the party, heading back to the headmaster with her, with the thing that she picked up. And you guys can decide whether or not you wish to follow after her to make sure she doesn't, do anything weird, or continue to investigate the area. And that'll get entirely up to you guys.
I'd say if we don't have intentions to keep her on the crew, we might as well continue forward. I don't particularly care what she does with that if it doesn't involve us.
I will say I've no problem moving forward, but depending on the next engagement, I might need to take a quick breather. If you can consider what I do breathing.
How quick are you thinking?
Long enough for me to non-magically recover from my wounds as if nothing happened. So like an hour, but I'm okay at the moment.
I have nothing against taking an hour to rest. Is everyone fine with that?
Wait, if you're not wounded,
There's
I'm a little
some.
banged up, but if something happens later, I might need to take a brief rest. Especially if that thing breaks out of the amber.
then but not now.
Yep.
In fact, we can kill that thing now, like for good, if we wanted to, because the master's dead.
Well, who we think is the master is dead.
I mean, I reckon, like, I don't know, Fern isn't a reliable source, but Fern said that it was the master, so.
It might be a good idea to go back and take it out before it breaks out and we have to deal with it later.
Enola just kind of throws her hands up in the air. Fuck it, let's go.
Please no. Based off of everything else, it's suspended while it's in the amber. And I don't know if we can take it.
Is what happens to this school if it gets out our responsibility at all?
I don't think so.
But we have a war to fight.
Right, we do have other things to do than sit around here and play with old bones and solid sap.
Or responsibility if it escapes and hurts innocent people.
There aren't any innocent people in here.
I mean, yeah, there
Enola
was
slowly raises her hand. I'm innocent.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You stole a hat.
No, I was playing a game. I gave the hat back.
You still stole it.
I did not.
I'm not even gonna bother saying I'm innocent, so, because I know I'm gonna be shut down by one of yous.
Nobody innocent here, and we've got bigger fish to fry than some bone claw thing.
I agree. We gotta get to that teleportation circle.
How much you want to bet it's behind the bone claw?
Probably is. Probably have to remove it to get to the teleportation circle.
Didn't we get around it?
But there's only a passage that's locked in with it or something.
Yeah, I recall there being described a passage behind the sap. That's just whether or not we can get around it with one of the rooms we went into.
Roll an intelligence check for me.
Don't we have some way to tell? I mean,
Who's checking?
Whoever was talking about going to get around where the bone claw is.
we've got several people that can cast spells. Do it. Do the spell casting
I never
thing.
roll well on intelligence checks with a positive
Oh yeah,
modifier.
Dread, you're probably looking over at Cogsworth at this point and going, "What is he talking about? That's what we already did. We're on the complete other side of the bone claw from where we came in."
Yeah, I thought we did. No, I think I remember because the hallway where we encountered the
You
Flint
saw it
skull
from
thing.
behind. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
because you rolled low, dear. That's why you didn't know.
Out of character, I have no clue where I am right now.
You're in the northernmost room, which is the laboratory.
Thank you.
And we were made aware that this teleportation circle might be northeast.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe we don't have to deal with that bone thing right now, but I would very much like to.
Dread, further information. As you're kind of glancing around, listening to your companions talk, it's not your perception thing. It's more of you taking notice of your surroundings finally, and like using your intelligence in this case to thinking of routes and paths. And you're the first one to take note of the fact that there's actually two ways out of this room to the south. One is the door you guys came in from, and the other is a hole in the wall that seems to have some crumbling bits of stone from the stonework, and little chunks of amber lying on the ground. And that's in the southeast, which would be in a similar direction to where you wish to go.
That exit, and I say we could try that way.
Yeah. I mean, but that does beg the question, Cogsworth, do you need to rest right now?
No. But
Okay.
depending on the next whatever we might run into, I might need to.
He's planning on failure. Let's go.
I will need to
Or
rest.
setting the expectation so we can walk out alive. All of us. In one piece.
It's overrated.
Whatever you say, normal person.
That was
I
out
know we
of
just
character.
laughed at this.
Ah. Sorry, I thought that was in character.
So we're going down a hole. Is that the plan?
I think so.
Great.
Topaz, you go first.
Oh, thanks.
Welcome.
You should be used to it at this point.
No, this Topaz, you're the bravest one here.
Bravest one here.
You have to go.
Go ahead, Sea Elf. You're expendable. Oh, I mean,
No,
you're brave.
No, you're not expendable.
Well, there's still one person here that's allowed to heal you, so you shouldn't die.
Whatever. I'm going in the hole.
I will follow Topaz.
I'm being stealthy for all the good it does with this group behind me.
All right, roll your stealth checks then.
Sam.
I'll attempt to do so.
Oh, a Lich Tarask.
Yeah.
Okay, Tara Lich. That's a new one.
Yeah. No clue how it'd be done.
No,
but
this
terrifying
no
to
no
think
no.
about.
What's scarier than a Tara Lich would be a Kraken Lich.
Something with
Not-
the intelligence to use those powers.
Not if you have Zerk, he'll just body slam him.
No. See, that only works on a small kraken, like a baby kraken, like the ones that Caleb likes to create.
Yeah, but Zerk is a big rock now.
I rolled a 4.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad that this campaign doesn't let us see the little cryodes. I'm not the only one.
If we take a look at the amber, does it look like there's anything like suspended on the inside? Okay. Well, it seems like we're going to the next hole, unless anyone wants to explore.
Topaz, do I need to go first?
Explore what?
I don't know, maybe there's shinies around here.
Shinies?
Just the amber.
Oh, I already have some of that. You muted, dear.
One of these days, I'll roll good on something that matters.
You just you just see Anola's nose go up in the air and she's just like sniffing around. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
I smell a recently deceased body. Anybody else smell that? Very pungent.
I can't smell.
I wasn't asking you.
My allergies are kind of bad this time of year, so I don't smell shit.
Well, I'm not asking you to smell shit. I'm asking you to say if you smell a dead body.
I don't smell anything.
Oh, okay. Topaz, Zephyrus, Dread.
Smell something. I just thought it was you.
Oof.
No, that would be your personality.
Oh fuck.
Do you take showers?
Uh,
I live in a shower.
Oh yeah. I wasn't
Yeah.
talking to you though. I was talking to Null.
sometimes. I've had crew members throw me overboard. Does that count?
I don't know why I excused seawater as the only. I mean, I guess you always smell like the ocean.
Are you saying I smell funny?
Anyway, moving on.
So what is it, Enola? Did Timmy fall down the well?
I don't know who Timmy is, but I will go look. I'm going to very stealthily, or attempt to be stealthy. And I'm just going to take a look through the hole in the wall. Do I see said body? Yeah, I'm a wood elf. Um, do I see anything, like if I were to walk up to him, do I see like any traps or anything? Mm, I'm going to cautiously walk up to the body. Recent enough that you can still see dried blood. Is there anything on his armor? Any symbols or anything that might... Do I see any other wounds on him? Ah, fuck. So realizing that, Anola's, I'm going to go back to the hole in the wall and peek my head through and relay all of this information to the party. So there, Good news. Good news. There's no traps. Bad news. There's a decapitated body with dried blood around it in here. Looks like a something very sharp decided to give his neck a hug.
Is there a head?
I didn't look. No, there is no head.
Does that mean there might be a second flaming skull fluttering and cackling about?
Maybe. So, we should proceed with caution. I look at Volan, Dread, and Cogsworth.
I'll proceed with caution. I make no promises about silence.
I'm very sneaky. We're fine. We'll be quiet, we'll be stealthy, no issues, and we'll take whatever comes our way.
So, Gris, how wide is the corridor? Could we walk down the hallway together in like twos? Okay. Sorry, I was reading what Topaz said.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're super fast too.
when they have teeth the size of your hand.
Yeah, they run. They run on the bottom of the lake, and then they jump up.
So the hippo is like a several ton-pound wasp with teeth.
I am going to step aside and let everybody come in. Don't encourage him. Do not, Volan, do not encourage him. Topaz. God fucking damn it.
As we walk in, do we see the black plate mail? I don't mean to be disrespectful, but if we take this, we could probably sell it, right? Dread, your armor costs quite a bit.
It did, yeah. Okay. Sure. Whose people? Oh, so they're here as well. So we're here. It did. Perhaps. Sound like people that need to be illuminated to me.
I mean, an
That's
umbrella.
But no, fireball.
Who said he's a wizard? Oh, actually,
So I come
Thomas,
back
I need to
come
send
back.
you a video.
With fireball. Are we casting fireball now?
Oh no. We were just talking about spells and their usefulness. I don't actually know that many spells.
So you're saying you're useless?
Well, no, I'm just really good at the spells I know. You know, I'm not widespread like a lot of spellcasters.
I'm more about removing magical fire than creating magical fire.
Well, good thing Ren's not here.
I can create some magical fire.
But we trust you with that.
What? Oh yeah, I have 2 spells. I'll keep it in mind. It takes 10 minutes to cast. Dread, you good?
I'm good, yes.
Right.
You have a vision or what?
No, Cell told me that armor belongs to some Dark Knights.
What does that mean?
Means that they're essentially the ones who killed her family. They're evil.
The knights from the island.
Are the Dark Knights rising?
Are they born into it? Molded by it? But in all seriousness, I recall there being black knights of some kind on the island with the Drew.
Yes.
So what you're saying is the armor's bad, we have to leave it.
No, it's just that she warned me that they whatever might the danger that was mentioned by the book might actually have been him or whatever happened to him. Or his head being removed quickly might be considered a danger to them. They are cowards when they are alone.
Would she be particularly bothered if we were to take this and maybe try to sell it?
I think it's just armor. No.
In which case, I'll go pick it up and ask Cogsworth, can you put this in the bag of holding?
This time you take it off the body.
Yeah, we'll just have to take it off the body, is what I was about to say. Thank you, Noah.
That's fine. I could do it.
Look, we've already had body parts stuck in a bag of holding for...
That you left to mold for ages?
Yep. Stupid mushroom.
And then there's the ones that put live primed grenades in their bags.
Good news is pulling it up over the head will be easy.
I know the fact that it was a live prime grenade that I find hilarious. Mhm. Gotta love the grenadier. Yep. Yeah. I
If
thought
there's-
she was taking it off the corpse.
Yeah, if there's protest from party members, I won't throw the body in there.
I'd rather not have a body in my bag.
That's fine.
Walk up.
Yep.
Have we figured out what made all these holes?
No.
Could have been the necromancer guy we just killed.
I'm just wondering. Seems to be quite a few of them.
Yeah.
I wondered if it might have something to do with whatever killed that person in the armor. Something's going through here and just blasting holes in walls.
As Topaz says that, I'm gonna walk back over to the hole and see if there's any like residue, claw marks, anything that might tell us what made it.
What if the circle's active? What if he was
Oh,
a scout?
Didn't it say danger?
No, Topaz, they've always been here.
Doesn't even make any sense. Who builds a room and then just puts a hole in the wall and leaves it that way?
Maybe it's a secret passageway.
Not very secret. It's a fucking hole.
Okay, fine. Maybe it's quick passage from one classroom to another.
They could be attempting to find spiritual balance, some of that feng shui stuff.
Fuck, I quit.
I'm gonna do some actual investigative work on this. Well,
No,
yeah,
you're
that's
not.
right. You're right. You're right, Nola.
Feng shui. Now you're making me hungry for shu lung food.
I can just imagine Zephyrus and Bolin looking at this hole. It's always been there. Well, I don't know about. Yep, you're right. It has.
You
Well,
sure it
that
wasn't
is-
just something to do with the amber?
Maybe.
Have we
But
have we
what-
figured out how all this amber got here?
Oh,
No.
that's a good question.
I mean, look at it. It's everywhere. It's like something just had a giant snot sneeze of nothing but amber all through the building.
It could
Yeah,
be an
isn't it
explosive
like-
expert attacked the castle or the academy. They were a sapper.
Yeah, and there aren't like, just make sure there aren't like trees growing through the building or anything, right? Yeah, so like, where's this amber coming from? I mean, it's magic, of course. It's weird that it is amber.
Why am I the one asking the questions about the amber and the holes in the walls? Or are you
Because you're
spellcasters
smart.
supposed to be the smart types? You're supposed to figure this stuff out before we put ourselves in a situation we can't get out of.
But Topaz, you're smart and brave.
Just shut up. Don't even try.
You're an ass.
I gave it a try. I mean,
I
quite
tried to.
frankly, I mean, I don't pride myself on being one of those book types.
You
I
know what?
whisper. I whisper to Volan. Is she in a bad mood?
If you're referring to Topaz, always.
Well, I don't know. I hear that she's not always in a bad mood.
You know what, Dread? Dread,
Yeah,
would you consider yourself any kind of expert on undead?
undead. Yes.
All right,
Yes, a
Come on.
paladin that is hunts undead.
all right, come on. Let's go and figure out what the heck made this hole. And I
No,
motion
I'm
Dread over to the hole in the wall.
I'm no expert on holes in the wall, though. Unfortunately.
It's fine. So, you and I are gonna take a moment, look over what caused this. We're gonna look for scorch marks, blast marks, any kind of rubble that might have gouges in it. We're gonna figure out what the hell made this hole. Yeah, there's nothing magical about this. Someone just took a sledgehammer and smashed their way through repeatedly.
In any
Muted, darling.
particular direction?
So, for all we know, I've always been here.
A second. I don't know how long how long ago it happened, but I just noticed that my stream feed had been on mute. Ugh, I hate when that happens. I think it failed to unmute when I tried to type something earlier. So it might have been a little while, which means my description of the room is probably missing to people. Yeah, you're currently in a classroom. There's a dead body on the ground, and yeah, you would have already heard Dread having a conversation with Cell, but you wouldn't have heard Cell's side of the conversation. God damn it, I hate when that happens. Anyway, you guys all heard it, so that's what the important part is. Anyway, you realize with that investigation check that all of the rubble is is laying on the western side of each of the holes, which means that whoever was, pounding these holes in, came from the east.
And that's the direction we're trying to go, correct?
Correct.
At least in reference to the hole.
Yes.
So, if you look over all of the holes in the walls, the rubble's going to the west, which means whoever broke through here came from the east. I think there's a possibility it might have been this night. I'm not confident because I don't see a hammer here,
Can I
but he
stop
could have
you?
been a member of a scouting party.
Well, did we see any tracks around that? What? Besides just a sharp sword, any signs of what killed the knight?
Let's see. There's blood spatter on the ground. Investigation check of that high. Checking a quick look at the ground, you see that there was definitely a void in that blood spatter that would have been almost directly in front of that knight. And most likely that body has not been moved since you guys got here and started taking the armor off. So basically somebody came by. One possible scenario that probably enters your mind with the medicine check that was performed earlier by Enola and the subsequent investigation checks is that somebody grabbed this guy by the head and just swung a large sword or an axe right through their neck and just took the head along with them.
But not necessarily the same person who went through the walls.
Correct. Looking around at the ground and the disturbed dust patterns, you see footprints going back, multiple sets of footprints heading both through here, some to the south through that half-open door, some back to the east, to the next room or passageway. Others heading
What
off
kind?
west. Let's see. The ones to the east are definitely all booted feet, like people in proper shoes. The ones to the south definitely seem to be mostly booted feet, like probably the same ones. And one's heading to the west. While you do see some evidence of booted feet traveling that way, You also see some larger feet that look a bit, I want to say, the right term would be like, slow gait. That instead of like a long gait, they've got like, slow, almost dragging foot gait.
Large, like how?
Uh, let's see. Roll me a nature check.
Anybody else good at that?
Okay. So you think about that for a moment and realize, you saw something that could have possibly left such tracks, and that was that flesh golem that you guys fought in the other room.
Oh. I bet you that look, the tracks. I think that flesh column came that way, and that's what broke down the walls. Doesn't explain the night, but if that thing came through here and just punched its way through the walls, it would look like a sledgehammer.
It's a possibility, but would it have fit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I just recall you saying something that like the holes weren't massive, but they were just enough for the
Yeah.
bulkier one of us to fit.
Yeah, but you're about the same size as that flesh golem, Cogsworth.
When I think of flesh columns, I think like big. Thank you.
When I think of flesh golems, I think of Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein was not a small person.
Well, yes, but I'm saying is that you strike me as something in similar size category. We aren't talking. When I'm not talking about something 10 feet tall here. I'm talking about something 7 feet tall. But yeah.
All right, well, so I guess we don't have to really worry too much about what went west, since we already took care of it. But whatever's beheading people, that could be a problem.
Anola takes off her hat and hands it to Cogsworth. I like to keep my head so I can wear my hat. So just in case it gets in the way, can you hold on to this?
Sure. You handed me your hat, correct?
Yes.
I'll attempt to put the comically large hat as gingerly as I can into my bag of holding.
And Anola's watching you like, please be careful. Bye, hat. I'll see you later. And you notice that Anola is comedically short now. Like, she's lost a little bit of height. What?
Good 6 inches.
Yeah.
And that 6 inches was all feather.
Yep.
Volan, are you done with your rat conference spell yet?
I mean, has it been 10 minutes?
I think at this point, when you guys finish putting the armor into the bag, it's been 10 minutes, and spent some time gazing around, investigating. Yeah.
Yes. If we can look around and find any.
All right. How would you like to try to lure everyone out?
I got some rations.
All right.
Squeaker squeaking.
Yeah, I'll just call out. I have food for anyone who comes speak to me.
And oh yeah, they'll be able to hear your side of the conversation anyway. Okay, so yeah, after a minute of waiting for the rats, one finally carefully pokes its head out from behind one of the rubble piles and slowly makes its way towards your ration with all due caution, looking like it's ready to bolt at any second.
Great. Well, I'm not gonna hurt you. Free food. I just want to ask a few questions.
The rat looks a bit surprised, able to understand you, and sits down, blinking up at you.
Great. So what do we want to ask it? Well, I guess first, has anything come through here recently? Anything living or unliving?
There was the big monster. It usually stomped through here. It was working on the amber on the other side.
Did the monster look like it was a bunch of flesh stitched together?
Yes. Lots of your kind of flesh. Different color though.
Right. I'm translating for the group too. Is,
Oh, it's not her kind of flesh, dear. Totally different kind. You can translate that.
yeah, I'll make sure to translate it. I'm not translating that. Do you know what happened to that
She's
guy?
much more marbled.
That guy.
I'm pointing to the dead body, missing its head.
And its armor.
There were several of them. Most looked like they were taking amber and shipping it away. But then the big one came. And another, like you, came with a weapon. And that one died.
Do you know what happened to the others?
They ran east.
Through that hole? The hole that we're planning on going to?
Yes. In the room where things appear and disappear.
Okay.
Found it.
Do you all think they're referring to the teleportation circle?
Lord, I hope so. Hey, Grizz, quick
Zoe.
question.
Yep.
What color is this rat?
It's a black rat, sorry.
Fuck. Okay.
That, like, black, maybe with a brown, a little bit of gray rat, the perfect kind of rat to hide among rubble like this.
Hey, Captain.
Yeah.
Can you ask it if it wants to come with us?
Yeah, I'll ask it that. I'm not translating that instead of asking more
Please?
questions. I'll translate for you, Enola.
What did it
Oh.
say killed the person in the armor?
I'll ask it. What did you say? Someone with a weapon?
A person like you, not your same color. Lighter color. Easier to stand out than your color. But person like you, standing like you, not like the lumbering thing.
And do you know which way that went?
It went back west.
Great. So
what? We've got a murderer running around cutting people's heads off that went west.
that's what it sounds like.
Anola is looking at Volan very expectantly, with a huge smile on her face.
Yeah, he told me he has family. It's very unfortunate he can't come.
Can I insight that?
God damn
Yes,
it.
you can. Roll a deception check.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
God damn.
It's clear to you. Volan did not ask it anything at all about your question.
Captain,
Yeah,
you said you'd ask.
I did. Do you speak rat?
Got you there.
I know when you're lying.
She's prejudiced against small creatures.
Oh,
Anola
That
just
isn't-
looks up at Volan.
that is in no way true. And
Are
I
you?
feel
Are you
No.
now?
I'm not. I'm just saying.
All half orcs are. Everybody knows that.
The rat starts to move back into the shadows a bit, looking frightened
No.
at this scary elf.
Anola just lays on the ground and, looks as small as she can.
As I didn't know that, so
I'm sorry. I wish you could understand me. I'm really sorry. And Anola, a tear drops.
Oh no.
The rat runs.
No!
Unfortunate. Right. So, did we want to deal with that
Enola
murderer to the
stands
west?
up and looks at Volan. You're a mean
You're fine.
person.
Just shake it off.
Well, we know there's a circle at least, right?
That's what it
Sounds
sounds
like it.
All right. Well,
Well, that's
That's
what
our
we
goal.
want, right? That's why we're here. All this bullshit with Death Knights and golems and whatnot. That's side quest things.
yeah, that's something that we can just deal with if we encounter it. Right now, we gotta head. I recommend we beeline for the circle.
That's fair.
So,
Enola first.
Yep, sneaky people first.
All right, I guess Enola's going first.
I'll be behind her.
Stealth check.
go for it.
Go on, Zephyrus.
All right. Oh, oh
God
no.
damn it.
Who's next?
Well, at this point, I don't know that it really matters.
Oh,
I do get
no.
advantage, but it's only 11.
So some of you are very quiet, and some of you are just clang, 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 whoops, and kicking stones behind the stealthy ones. And you head in.
Stop trying to walk through the narrow spaces at the same time. You both can't fit.
I'm not.
But soon you emerge into a room. It's nowhere near as large as the one on Ethos Island, but you instantly recognize similar markings on the floor. And unlike Ethos Island, the things around here seem to be fairly intact. In fact, there is a kind of a small buzz in the air. Not, nothing's glowing or anything like that, but there's like, you know how when you turn off your electronic device and you put your ear to like to some of the more complex pieces, you can hear a buzz.
A buzz.
Yeah, like from the, what is it, capacitor, whatever.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
I've always been able to hear it. It's really annoying. I could never sleep with those sort of electronics anywhere nearby my bed as a kid because I would be kept awake by the buzzing noise. Because even though most people can't hear that, but it's like, it's the electronic hum. But this is a magical equivalent to that. Like, there's definitely something very powerful here that's capable of activity, but it's not fully active at the moment.
It's in power save mode.
Yeah, it's in power save mode. Exactly. It's not currently active, which means if you walk into the circle, you're not going to instantly bamf somewhere. But you also don't need to run around looking for something to reactivate it. You just need to know how to operate it.
So we see it.
Yes. It's there on the floor, with bizarre
Have
markings.
controls.
Let's see. The middle section, the very middle part of it, where on a traditional like etched circle, from what you understand, from overhearing magic people before, normally there's a glyph in the middle that indicates the to place, basically for somebody else to
Where it goes.
Yeah.
Or
The
the room
home
that
base.
represents this
Yeah.
place.
Whereas what you've learned from these transport circles is that there is one symbol that's on the wall, which you look around and you quickly see. In fact, if you want to roll an intelligence check, I'll tell you which one it corresponded to in the book. The one that
Who has the book?
the headmistress currently has the book.
Oh.
You lent it to her.
We all can make this roll?
Yes, you may. I'll make an intelligence check to see if you can remember just looking at the symbol. So, okay. Volan, you look at the symbol, and you realize, oh yeah, That's the one that's actually listed with the active activity location of Madronis. With the comment next to it saying active but dangerous area.
Okay, so good news, we found the teleportation circle that's in Madronis. Bad news is it's apparently very dangerous and very active. So, win lose. Also, we don't really know what it means by dangerous. Although, if dark knights are coming through, that's probably not great.
We can try using
What
it.
what's the deal with Dark Knights? Turn and look at Dread. What's their deal? Are they just heavies in armor that hit hard, or are they paladins like you? What are they?
Do I know out of character? I'm not sure.
Cell gave you some information. You can roll an intelligence check to try to refresh it.
Yeah, okay, me and intelligence, that's a good idea, huh? Sure.
Well, it's not like you have a negative in intelligence.
No, I don't have a negative or a positive.
Another 13. The thing what you remember Cell talking about was that that Vincent guy was a Dark Knight, and the Dark Knights were responsible for killing her and her family.
Yeah, I knew that. I don't know, I still don't know what they are.
You do remember that Vincent was a vampire.
Yeah,
You don't know. It's doubtful that the dead guy in the hallway is a vampire, because usually vampires' bodies kind of disintegrate when they're dead.
so I'll relay what I know to Beth.
Okay, so they're bad. All right.
They're bad if they're in big numbers. If they're alone, they're cowards.
Take your word for it.
So, do we want to figure out where we can go with this thing, or do we want to just report this to the mistress, the headmistress?
To be honest, I've kind of lost track what we were doing.
Well, we were waiting on her to decode the book because we were thinking of heading to that area on the map with the house, because it might
Oh.
be a place where the Sea Prince is.
And the place where is that the place where the rip is to the Chaos Plane?
That's Mistvale? No, hold on.
Oh, that's different. We're trying to dunk on these pirates right now, I think.
We were attempting to go to Mistvale through the teleportation
Right.
circle.
We were trying to
with
get behind the
power.
lines of the Sikh princes and stop them without having to face all of them. Wasn't that the plan?
I think so. Because last time we tried to sail there,
Right.
They,
It's too many.
I will say, I feel like before we proceed, even if we can find a way to activate this and go where we want, we should probably let the headmistress know so they can fortify that entrance. I'd hate for something to get loose
A certain,
when they could do something to prevent it.
like a certain big undead thing there.
Yes.
Yeah, they definitely need to do something. They've got all this crap running around amok in their back hallways.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so on that note, we'll head back.
So mark that though. If we have the map, is this place on the map already?
This location that you're currently in.
Yeah.
You don't have a map of Madronis. And the map you have is of Azure Gulf.
No, this teleport circle.
Yes, this is the one that it's in the book that the headmistress currently has. It's
Okay.
the one. It's the one referred to as Madronis.
Okay. So we save this for a rainy day. Looks like we're back to square one, trying to find a way around the back of the Sea Princess.
I think that's what the headmistress was trying to do, is to figure out how to activate it and get us there.
Right then. Back to the headmistress.
All right. So you make your way back to through the various classrooms and laboratory and hallways. You know, making it kind of a winding path around the amber that's blocking several of the hallways. And eventually out into the storage room that you originally, came through in the first place. And you find that several students have now kind of gathered around and are looking expectantly into the area that you guys are emerging from. And one of them's kind of rubbing their hands together and go, "Hey, what's back there?"
None of your damn business.
Normal stuff. Yeah, just golems and death knights and holes in the wall and frozen amber and bone claws.
Something capable
students'
of
eyes
killing
go
you.
wide.
So I recommend not stepping back there unless you want to get hurt.
Undead beholders, but we took care of that.
But if you do step back there and die, we are not liable.
You really need to keep a handle on your school.
Honestly, with what's back there, if you die, you're liable to animate just to clean your own mess up, and then go back to dying.
The students are looking kind of shocked at this. Roll either persuasion or intimidation with advantage.
Who?
Whichever of you thinks is going to do the best job is probably the best idea.
I'm not known for my persuasion, but I'll do it.
You can be persuasive. I'm being intimidating.
Not so lucky sevens.
So they kind of back away from Topaz.
Flaming skulls, probably the head of the headless death knight we found. Head sheared clean off, one head.
Yeah, the crowd is not staying to listen anymore. They're just backing away from you.
You think the walls will save you? They won't. The flesh golems go right through them. So anyway, how's work coming along on those explosive oils and things?
So you make your way back to the headmistress's office, where she's got a couple books in a notepad in front of her, she's doing research back and forth. As she kind of looks up as you come in. The explosive ordnance. Have you not gone and talked to the alchemist yet?
Slightly higher concern.
Well,
we found the lost necromancy way.
Oh.
And there's a large creature that could possibly do some damage if it's not locked away properly.
Bone claw. It's a bone claw.
We think we killed its master, but we're not entirely sure. And perhaps more concerning is there's an active teleportation circle underneath the school. So,
So you found it?
Yes, and it's
yes.
Oh, that's good. I've come up with some possibilities. But what did you say about necromancer? Do you mean
professor, Fern's professor from 1,000 years ago.
He was there.
He animated himself and attacked us.
Oh, and
What- was
flesh
he
golem.
a lich? She ventures, like looking very concerned about that possibility.
No, I think more of a false life.
Well, I'm not sure how to feel about that. As soon as we are finished with our meeting here, I will gather together the other headmasters of the school, the various heads of departments, and see about cleanup of that wing now that you've exposed it.
I will say it looks like there's others trapped in the amber. So there may be others like Fern that
So,
can be
so
saved.
some others might have survived from 1,000 years ago.
Yes, but again, there's a potential bone claw that could attack when it's released.
Hmm.
So be safe.
Then perhaps we will go seek the council at one of the nearby temples and bring along some holy aid. Thank you very much for discovering all this.
We may need access to the circle, though.
Of course. As I said, I've been working to translate this. It's not the easiest. Unfortunately, from what I understand, the surviving transportation records don't come with maps. They just have little bits of descriptions. I don't know if maybe the maps were destroyed or if somebody wished to hide them just in case. It is a bit alarming. But I went specifically looking for the ones you were saying. You were looking for island ones, yes?
I believe so.
Well, I traced several of them. One of which, of course, would be this one marked Ethos Island. Unfortunately, you said it's no longer in service. Did you say you it was no longer in service?
It's been deactivated, yes.
Yes. So that one should be knocked off. Then there's this one. I believe in this notebook here it was referred to as unknown, but no one has come back. That is an island. There's this one over here. She indicates another one. This one doesn't have any markings. But I believe it's referred to as Watchtower, which seems to be some kind of island.
Watchtower.
Could it be that one watchtower we stumbled upon in the mist?
That's my first thought.
Regardless, I want to go speak with the alchemist about potential provisions to deal with those larger
Alright.
ships. Does anyone want to join me?
Yes.
Yes, our head alchemist, Gruen. Yes, make sure you let him know that that I sent you along.
All right.
Also, if I may ask, by chance, do you have anyone here that enchants armor or weapons?
Well, of course. What sort of enchantments are you thinking about? That doesn't mean we do them for free, mind you.
Oh, of course.
It is an expensive process.
I'm thinking protection regarding my shield.
All right.
Yeah, I might need to make a stop as well after that, because I do want to see about getting some type of protection for my shield. It's a pain being heard for a 20-mile radius.
Oh, you want some sort of stealth enchantment?
No, I want something to protect me so I can lighten my armor.
Hmm. Well, enchantments themselves do take time. It might be more efficient to buy new armor or a new shield.
That's what I'm thinking. Did anyone else have anything to bring up, Captain?
Realistically, no. I think we've done what we needed to do. Although I know Topaz wants to go to the alchemist. I don't have anything in particular.
Do you have any lab rats here?
Ooh.
Lab rats?
Or
She has a
rats?
Well, they're always various familiars. And there's been known to be wild rats in the walls. In
I look at
places.
Roland.
I'm
Um,
looking anywhere except at her.
Do you guys have magical artifacts?
Well, we don't have any for sale, if that's what you're asking.
No. I'm looking for something kind of particular.
Such as?
Do you have any like? That's a bit weird asking. Like black metal shards that or like have magical properties.
You might wish to discuss things in the Enchanter's Quarter.
Any spears of annihilation?
No. That is far too dangerous.
Says the person who has a bone claw in their walls.
Well, see, bone call can really kill you. Sphere of annihilation is said to be able to destroy your very soul. I don't think I'm familiar with that one.
Volan, no. I will head for the alchemist if we're done here.
Yeah, and
Unless
I'll
you have
head
a
for
specific thing to tell me.
I'm gonna go with Zephyrus.
to the
Me
Enchanter's
too.
Quarter.
Yep.
I'm going to the alchemist.
Okay.
I'll go to the
Forgot-
alchemist.
I'm now curious about these black shards and why he needs them. Especially since what I saw.
Alright. So first up, the people go into the alchemist's quarter. I mean, the alchemist's area. So, as you kind of wander around the school, whoever is leading the expedition, please roll me a investigation check.
Is this the Zephyrus group or the Cogsworth group?
Cogsworth group.
Okay. 14
Right.
or 22. I can't remember if you said advantage.
So it takes you a little bit of time to ask the right questions of the right students, because when you left the headmistress's office, you forgot to ask her where the alchemist was. So you walked around for a little while and started asking random students, like, "Hey, where's the alchemist? Where's the alchemist?" After a while, you are eventually directed to a particular hall and a particular office. This particular office has multiple retorts and, like, those little curly wires and stuff that, various the typical alchemy setup, but only, like, several times more. Several shelves containing ingredients, and a desk with various scattered bits of paper and notebooks where somebody has been furiously writing. Behind the desk, currently furiously writing, is a somewhat elderly looking lizard folk, kind of like hunched out. You can see, like, various patches of scales that seem to have dried up and have, are just missing. He's wearing these kind of not bright, dark red, well, darkish red robes, like somewhat faded, with bits of gold trim. and he's like busy like writing furiously on some kind of notes. No.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I don't believe you and I have met, but the headmistress said that we could come by and see about requisitioning some potential materials. We're looking to take on Captain, I believe you called them the Sea Princes.
Yes.
There's quite a bounty on those. So
We're looking for
Elvira sent you.
people. That may be her name. I honestly cannot recall.
Hmm.
It's been an interesting day.
I see. He lets out a sigh and like puts down his pen, and kind of like gives you guys his full attention. So, what sort of requisitions would she have you make? You do not look like students here.
We are not. We are working on behalf of Saltmarsh and a few other peoples to deal with us.
What is Saltmarsh?
No, wait. Saltmarsh. Out of character, just Saltmarsh, right?
Yeah, it is
Orin-
Saltmarsh.
Orin's the little place, Saltmarsh is the big place.
Saltmarsh. Yeah, it's
Saltmarsh.
Saltmarsh is a tiny town, practically a village on the very southern border of Keeland.
Yeah. It's an independent settlement that's dealing with a Sahuagin incursion. It's been killing a lot of fishing vessels, but it's
What does that have to do with the college?
in all honesty nothing. However, we brought it up to the headmistress, and she thought there might be something that we could get assistance from here. We're looking for materials to take on some of the threats that are affecting the waters in this area.
What kind of materials are you looking for?
Something
Be
we
specific.
Things to blow up ships from under the water.
something
Burn
that can
holes in their
underwater,
hulls.
and something that could quickly burn a sail from a distance, preferably.
Well, underwater, you want something that is very reactive with water. Magnesium, for example, would do very nicely. As for burning sails quickly, well, dousing them in oil is always an option. But you want something. Do you want something further away?
A way to launch the oil and light it reliably might be ideal. We do have a ballista on our ship.
You probably want something more like a catapult. Do you have room for a catapult on your ship?
Captain, do you want to put a catapult on the ship?
Can we fit a catapult on the ship?
It depends on how far we're trying to launch it.
Well, you might want to consider getting rid of one of the ballista and replace it with a catapult, if that's the case. Your ship is not the biggest. If you had a bigger ship, you could probably fit multiple thingamajiggies on it.
I would think that if we want to put it on the rear, it would allow us to put a smaller catapult in place, because if something was chasing us, they would run into it. It would need a smaller counterweight. The main thing to keep in mind is that we need to make sure that whatever we launch isn't particularly heavy. It could have weight, just no 90-kilogram projectiles 300 meters.
That is not something that I deal with. You
Still,
might
it's a good
wish to go to the docks and inquire about such a thing.
But in regards to the magnesium,
Yes.
do you think that you could put together some sort of seal that would protect it from the water long enough for one of our more aquatic friends to get down, attached to the hull, and then back up before it react?
It is still quite dangerous. You would have to have some way to remove the seal without physically touching it. Mage
What about
hand, for
something that's
example.
dissolved in water?
Rope.
Maybe.
We
Mage
have
hand
bags
would
of holding.
Mage
But-
hand would be quite useful for such a feat.
I don't have a mage hand. I just have my hands.
Oh, so you would be the one to do this? Is that right?
We also
Yeah.
have bags of holding to get up to the
Sea
ship
elf.
to get dry.
Just because you're a sea elf doesn't mean you would be interested in blowing up a ship.
She can swim quickly.
So
Yeah, I'm prejudiced against myself. I should have known I wouldn't necessarily be interested in blowing up a ship. Okay, so let's clear the air right now. I'm a sea elf and I'm interested in blowing up a ship. What have you got?
as I said, the magnesium would be of use. So the bigger question is to keep it safe in order to safely remove whatever obstruction keeps it safe from the water.
Well, it
In order
sounds
to
like I'd
blow up
need
a ship.
something to attach it to the hull and something else to activate it from a distance.
This
Magnesium
sounds
burns
like-
in contact with water. Very, very
Yes.
hot.
Yes, it does. I would think that you would want to talk to an engineer about such things. A delivery system would be their purview. I can just talk to you about the chemical reactions and possibly supply you with said chemicals.
How much?
Oh, I thought you said that you had a request from the headmistress.
We did.
Yes.
It was a general request because we weren't quite sure how best to go about it. And you helped us come up with that method. By chance, do you have access to a sizable chunk of magnesium?
I will, and I'll be willing to fill it once you get a properly sealable and unsealable container. I would suggest talking to an engineer about that process first, and then I will supply you with the necessary chemicals.
We could always just get a very large glass bottle with a cork and have some kind of glue on the cork. Cement it to the side of the ship, smash the glass, and then run very, very quickly. Or swim in your case.
Well, we could try it.
My main concern is I don't want you to burn your arm off.
Oh, thank you.
It's hard to blow up a ship without someone who's capable of blowing up ships. We should probably go find an engineer, shouldn't we?
Do they have one of those here?
That's not a magical thing. But yes, I imagine that there are places in the city that you can hire an engineer, and they might be fascinated with such a project. Either at the markets or perhaps in the upper city to the west. You might even be able to find a proper student in the library.
All right then.
If you're alright starting the search, I do want to attempt to find the Enchanter's Quarter, where Zephyrus and Enola were.
Yeah, I'm just gonna switch over to them.
No, I was saying that in character.
Yeah.
I would ask the alchemist guy where that might be, and then make my way as you
Yeah.
start talking to the others.
And he gives you directions. So we have who's in the other party?
Me.
So whoever's leading the other party, please roll investigation. Alright, just a 12. It takes you long enough to find the Enchantress Quarter that Cogsworth comes up behind you.
All right. Well, at some point on the way, I wanted to cast disguise self and disguise myself as a gray-haired human with noble clothes. And I know Enola is with me. I'm not trying to hide it. So
You want to do
Another
before
would
I saw?
definitely ask, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
don't worry, it's all part of the plan.
What plan?
He wouldn't answer you.
Enola is gonna, since she's walking behind him, just like tap him on the back. What plan?
I have no money.
Well, that seems like a personal problem.
Okay, so we meet up with Cogsworth and.
Just Cogsworth.
Okay.
Just as you're getting to the entrance to the Enchanter's quarters, after finally finding, after finally finding it, you discover Cogsworth has come up behind you from another direction.
Hey, Enola, where'd Zephyrus go?
It's me, Zephyrus. I'm in
It's all,
disguise.
it's all part of the plan. Don't ask him what the plan is.
Yeah, because a normal person like yourself have secrets to hide, right? Totally while you're in disguise.
He has no money.
Oh, carry
All
on.
right. Okay, I'm gonna find just some enchanter, I guess.
I swear to God, if there's a gnome in here with a
No.
wrench.
Anyway, no. No. There are various rooms here with various people. It looks like each of the rooms, that each of the rooms pretty much has, one occupant. Most of them have like a table. The rooms are actually fairly large for only one person each to be working in them, but it looks like they're attempting to keep whatever they're working on separate from other people's potential experiments. That they don't want them to overlap and possibly damage or interfere with each other.
Okay, I'm gonna approach one. Oh, hello, good sir.
A high elf looks up from from whatever he's doing. He seems to be looking through, it looks like actually a microscope from what you can tell. And he's looking at something.
Enola chuckles and leans over to Cogsworth. Probably not the best one to go to.
I'm looking for magical artifacts, and I was directed in this area.
Yes, well, we study magical artifacts here and try to replicate designs of old.
Who's
Sometimes
the head
we
of
invent
the...
other ones. Sometimes
Who's-
we invite new ones.
Interesting. But I'm interested in old ones that you may have found or been sold over the years.
Alright.
Do you know where I could find a treasurer or some kind of person who takes care of those?
You mean a curator?
Yes.
Well, there's always the museum nearby. But if you're talking about ones that are actively being researched, that just depends.
I'm looking for something specific, you see.
Alright.
I'm looking for a black metal shard
Black metal
that may have been a
shard.
part of a sword.
How old are we talking? What age?
Add a character, I don't know this. Because Grizz, I just so you know, I am looking for pieces of my patron. So
how long ago do you think that that this sword was broken? I guess that's a further way of putting it.
I guess.
Me out of character.
Geez, I guess. I'm gonna throw a number out there. I guess 1,000 years would be good.
Okay.
Pretty old.
Yeah. 1,000 years is a good time. Was it in this region, in this continent, in this particular area?
Uh, y- no, but its pieces were spread out.
So was it or was it not on this continent?
It was on this continent.
Okay. So it would have been probably back during the what some people refer to as the crisis. Others refer to it as the Cogsworth. You might want to cover your ears for a minute.
I'll just take off my headset.
Yeah.
Darling, shout when I can put my headset back on.
Okay. Sorry, Cogsworth is in the particular game during this particular time period. Basically, there was a time period when a lot of terrible things happened. The four sacred temples all fell. The ones from the for the Holy Order of the Divine Light, all four temples fell. Um, there was supposedly a huge incursion in the Underdark from the Abyss at that time. The country of the Crimson Imperium, the Scarlet Imperium, which was here, and more so where Keoland is now, collapsed due to a civil war. Uh, there was a lot of nasty things that happened during that age, and some people thought that it was going to lead to another, there was a lot of people convinced in that region that in this particular continent that there was potential for a new sundering, especially with the temples collapse. So some people think of it as a very scary age where the world nearly ended, uh, which it nearly did. But the party that Cogsworth's in is right now in another game attempting to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
but there's basically the collapse of the Crimson Imperium. Collapse of the Scarlet Imperium happened at that age. A lot of terrible things, like huge wars. That was when the Silver Legion was marching, the one that eventually formed the Argenium Imperium. That was it's a goblin nation, mostly ruled by hobgoblins. It's right near the Greylands where Noxie came from. Basically, those countries all established themselves at that point. So a lot of it's definitely a good time for artifacts to scatter. But a lot of the artifacts from the Scarlet Imperium were scattered at that point too, from looters, from all sorts of people. A lot of bad things happened to that empire.
Okay.
All right, Enola, you can tell Cogsworth you can put his headset back on.
Do I have to? Is a better question.
You don't have to, but I think he'd be sad.
You can put your headset back on.
Okay. All right, then I
I have no reason why you wanted me to deafen, but I did it.
All right, then I'll just tell the guys from around that era.
It says nods. Yes, a lot of artifacts from that era went everywhere. Some were even scattered.
Yes, any fit my
Terrible
description.
times. Just a black shard, you say? Well, it's possible. Yes. And it's possible some people might have their hands on it, especially if they don't know it came from one artifact. And if it's scattered, as you say, that is some... And he shakes his head. That is problematic. You might want to also check in with the museum. They will have a better idea if it's something from 1,000 years ago.
The museum? Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, good sir.
Yes.
I will...
He immediately looks away from you and goes back to his work.
Well, he turns back to Cogsworth, and that was a bust. Oh well.
By chance, would your curator have anything available in regards to magical shield?
The high elf stops what he's doing and looks back at Cogsworth. This isn't a shop, you know. This is a research facility. If you're looking for us to enchant your shield, we might be able to get that done for a fee, of course. But we do not sell enchanted shields here.
I lean over to Zephrys. I forgot how uppity high elves are.
I don't
That's-
think it's them being a high elf. The
Oh,
alchemist
so-
sounds like this
so-
too.
So he's just a dick. I say that a little louder.
You will watch your tongue, child.
She sticks her tongue out and tries to look at it. I can't. And Enola pisses off a high elf.
Regardless, thank you for your unpleasantly worded answers. I appreciate the information. Hope you have a wonderful day. And Cogs will return and leave and attempt to find the exit.
I'm going to beeline for the museum, and you can switch over to the other characters. While I
Alright.
do that.
What's everyone else doing, by the way?
As
Dread?
I walk out,
Dread, what are you doing?
I was with Topaz and
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure, I'm sorry. And Volan, what about you?
I was with that group too, but the second they started talking about science, phone just kind of glazed over and stopped
Volan
listening.
and Dread just kind of stood there while they got their science on. Yeah.
yeah,
Precisely.
So what are you two doing while the rest of the gang is off, looking for museums or looking for a shop or looking for whatever they're looking for?
If I could, I would try to find Cogsworth and ask him if I could take the bag of holding, because we do have quite a few items to sell, and I don't really have anything to do to help the group. So, if that were the case, I'd probably be looking for the bag of holding.
I think I'd probably just follow along since I don't have anything better to do.
Alright. Since I think Dread is looking, not Dread, Cogsworth is looking to go buy something, then perhaps all three of you would go together.
Yep.
Works for me.
Alright. So I guess that goes with Topaz and Enola. Where are you two planning on going?
I'm looking for an engineer.
Alright.
I'm looking for a pet shop.
So,
Of course you are.
yeah. So the group of you, leave the magic school and you start looking around the sheets, and it looks like there's not much in the way of, in the Palace District, which is the central island in the middle of the Midris River. There's no real shops in this particular area. In fact, what you've been able to gather is that most shops are over in the Market and Dock District, which is just like, where there's like taverns and the docks. There's all sorts of shops down that way. There are some also, posher shops, and they basically, from what you've overheard from other people talking, in the west, basically in the upper city district, where basically all the rich bougie people live. The implication being that anybody looking at you if you're asking about shops, don't think that you can afford the type of shops that are in the west. There is, however, right near the magic school, a good-sized library, where it looks like there's a lot of like students also attending, that non-magic school students, like other disciplines, attend and look through this library, and a rather nice-looking museum right next to that.
Well, Cogsworth, did you have any place specific you wanted to go? I don't really know what you're looking for.
I'm looking for some form of shield that will offer me better protection. Because I don't like being heard within a 20-mile radius and being made fun of for it.
Volan, maybe you should go with Cogsworth. You might need something too.
If it's not you, Cockroach, it'll be me that makes the noise.
And if not you, it's me. So
Well, worst case scenario, I'll be harder to hit.
that's always good.
Exactly. Especially with how some of us are.
Hey, Grizz.
Yes?
How far away are the docks?
They're to the east, just across that bridge that you came over to get to the school in the first place.
Oh, that's where Nola's going.
Do you think that... Hey, Volan.
Yeah.
They mentioned a museum that Zephyrus was particularly interested in going to. Do you think they'd be interested in the armor?
The armor that we found, the Dark Knight armor?
I don't know if a blacksmith would like selling slightly used armor.
I mean, we could certainly try. I don't see why not.
Either way, we can attempt it.
Alright, to the museum then?
No, I want my shield first. I'm sorry.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just trying to think of what we can do today to stay productive.
You see Nola jogging back to you. Cogsworth!
Yes.
Can I have my hat back?
Yes. Pulls out the hat, hoping that there's no wrinkles.
And Enola inspects it very thoroughly. Is it damaged or wrinkled in any way, Grizz?
It wouldn't be. It's basically just been floating in space inside the bag of holding.
She puts her hat on, nods in satisfaction, and starts heading towards the docks.
Who else is heading towards the docks? Which is also known as the Market District.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd imagine Cogsworth, Dread, and I would be heading that way too.
Yep. So, Cogsworth, roll an investigation check.
Okay. See how well I can roll this today.
Alright.
Hey.
Virtually, the first person you stops points you directly to a place that would sell you a magical shield.
Thank you.
A shop called Enchanted Protection. And you quickly find yourself there and discover that it has its own forge and a sign on the front that indicates spellcraft.
Huh.
There is, for those of you who are not made out of metal, there's a lot of heat wafting out of this particular shop. To a sea elf in your party, this is not quite pleasant as it is starting to dry out your skin really quickly.
Not liking this.
For Dread, given your heritage, it's actually quite nice.
It's nice here, Topaz.
If you'd like to stay outside so you don't get too hot, that's perfectly fine. We'll let you know if anything catches our eye that you might be interested in.
Just need a way to build something to make the magnesium explode.
I'll ask about magnesium.
So, as you step to the door, in addition to the heat, you hear a bang, 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 whoosh, bang, bang, bang. Sound of somebody in the process of baking something is definitely filtering through the entire shop. There are several, I guess, armored dummies would be the best way to put it, along the inside of the shop, along with shields mounted on the wall. Looks like this place does specialize in various protective goods.
I will walk up to the counter, wait for a brief break in the hammering, and shout out for someone's attention.
There's another whoosh, and you hear somebody say, Take over, will ya? And a man, a kind of a stocky man with bright red skin and hair that appears to be made out of fire, comes walking out from the back. His eyes smoldering coals. He kind of like gazes out at you. What? You are quite fascinating.
I wouldn't consider you typical yourself.
Like starts looking you up and down. What craftsmanship? Who built you?
Unfortunately, I would not know. I have been asleep for some time.
Hmm.
But thank you. I am in the market for a shield that might offer some protection.
And what
From what
kind?
I hear, you're the best in the area.
Ah, that is nice to hear. What kind of shield are you looking for?
Honestly, I don't particularly know. I can afford something, but I'm definitely no noble.
Hmm.
Something worth the money that won't break the bank, so to speak. What do you recommend?
So something under 5,000 is what you're saying, or are you more comfortable with something under 1,000?
Anywhere around 1,000. I just
Hmm.
want something better than a piece of sheet metal strapped to my arm, which is what this essentially is. It works, but I want something a little better.
Well, I have two potential shields for you then. And he kind of like goes over to the wall, and he picks up two shields. Um, the first shield has a symbol of an eye in the middle of it, and the other shield looks very nice, not ornate or anything like that, but the metal looks completely unscuffed, and you think it might be made of adamantine. Now, sorry, wrong one. Sorry, no, sorry, wrong. I was looking at the wrong description. Sorry, Ugh. Sorry.
Mithril?
No. The one shield has an eye in it, and the other shield I was looking at the description for the adamantine armor. My bad. The other shield looks like it. For some reason, it has a target in the middle of it, which is kind of weird.
Cogworth is especially interested in the one with the eye. Is that what I think it is?
What do you think it is?
It's very vague, because again, I've been asleep for a very long time.
He
But
pulls it down and brings it over to you. It is a
I
nice shield.
I recall tales of warriors that seemingly were never caught off guard, and on the shields
Yes.
they had a blazing eye.
Yes, well, this one will help you out when you're keeping an eye on things and help you move faster when it comes to battle.
Is it a sentinel shield?
Yes, it is. I both forged the metal and enchanted it myself.
And out of curiosity, may I ask what the other is? Though I think I will be staying with the sentinel shield.
Ah, this one, this one's also nice. It's not as easy to catch things.
Unawares?
Sorry, unawares like that other one is, but this one's good for if you're worried about arrows attempting to make a pincushion out of you. Although you being made of metal, that I don't think you will be a pincushion. It helps against ranged attacks.
Does it draw them in?
In a way, that's why there's a target on it. It's possible to to protect a friend, shall we say, and draw it onto you instead.
Interesting.
Just mesmerize them with the target. So it's really good if you wish to protect people,
If I may
but it is
ask,
more expensive.
If I may ask, does it only draw projectiles specifically? Or if I say launch some kind of magical projectile?
Well, it's really anything that travels at distance. So yes, it's arrows are just the main thing, but yes, it will help against magical attacks as well,
Interesting.
made at distance. but not the really nasty ones, not the ones that explode everywhere.
So no fireballs.
Correct.
Believe me, I've caught plenty of those in my day.
Well,
Shouted across all of my campaigns.
you look no worse for wear.
I've been surprisingly durable.
That's good.
So
You
how
are-
much for the Sentinel Shield?
Ah, that. Yes. I'm quite pleased with such enchantments. I've actually done numerous of those, and because of that, I can give you a much better price than I would on the other shield. So that one would only be 400 gold.
400.
Mm-hmm. 400 gold.
May I ask, could I buy several?
I do have several that I can sell at this time. Let's see. How many does he have at this point? Although,
Dread.
and then he looks around and suddenly realizes, no, I sold that one the other day. Unfortunately, I've only got 2 left.
Dread, would you like one as well?
Yes, I think so.
I'll take both of them. Thank you.
800 gold it is, please.
A purchase I'll happily make.
Now, is there anything else I can do for you while you're here?
An odd question, but we are looking for an engineer. But given the name of your shop, I feel like you might be able to do the job as well.
Oh, do tell. This
looking-
intrigues.
We're looking to take on the Sea Princes.
Ah. That
we need
explains
a-
the need for the shields. Going after the
We need
bounties?
Captain, are we after the bounties?
We certainly are.
Ah, good, good.
With the assistance of one of the alchemists in the college, we have an idea that might be able to take out some of their larger ships. Our CL friend outside is thinking of swimming up to the hull, and we want to use something to burn a significant hole through it to capsize it.
Ah.
And we're thinking a large chunk of magnesium might be best. But we need a way to get it under the waterline and get her away without losing her arm.
His eyes begin to sparkle at this. Interesting. Do you have a time frame for this?
Sooner than later, but not tomorrow, if that makes any sense.
Yes, that does make sense.
We're on a time crunch, but it doesn't need to be done tonight.
Yes. Well, I'll have to figure out to see if I have components. I might need to run a test to be safe. Ooh, I have to draw up some schematics first.
What I'm thinking,
And imagine, don't think I have time to enchant it. That would take a lot of time.
in terms of what might be cost effective, if there's a way to put some kind of low level magic just to cut it off from anything touching it.
No,
Like-
that would take some doing.
Okay. Something water soluble to buy us 30 seconds to stick it to the ship and run. In her case, swim.
Maybe, but of course it's the container that you're asking about. Yes, a container for like magnesium with some kind of hole that can have a water soluble plug in it. Is that what I'm
Mhm.
hearing?
Yeah, we would
So-
make like a jar. We'd stick the jar to it.
No, something more complex than that. How about you come back tomorrow afternoon and maybe I'll have a sketch prepared.
I'd be fine with that. Thank you.
Of course, it all depends on what time frame you need after that, just because it might not be doable in the time that you need it for.
I'll
But
leave that to
we
the
can
captain.
figure it out. Is there any other armor needs you might have?
I suppose I could ask, is there any chance?
Oh, you're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Is there any chance you'd be willing to purchase some lightly plate mail armor?
We'll have to see what type of shape it's in. I'd probably have to want to melt it down and use it for scrap.
I will say it's a lovely dark shade, but it's definitely seen some use.
Lightly dyed in.
There's also a question of how ancient it might be. I don't believe the wearer was particularly old, but given the nature of their group, it might have some interesting properties.
If you're just trying to sell this armor, I can't give you a good price on that because again, I'll be just melting it down. I do take some components. I'm always in the market for unrefined adamantin, dragon scales, of course, mithril. I'd always take some of that off your hands if you have any.
That's a good point. Did we want to sell dragons we have?
I'd honestly be fine with it. At the end of the day, most of that I leave to all of you. Do you want me to get them out?
I mean, I think probably best we use them now. There's just sitting in a bag of holding.
I will pull out the hide, the scales, and a couple claws and teeth.
Green. And it's like looking that over. How much do you have on you?
I'll open up the bag of holding so he can see.
No. Out of character. How much?
46 teeth, unnamed
Then-
hide, claws, and scales.
No. Weight wise, what's the weight wise listed next to it?
Unlisted.
Unlisted.
Yeah, if you just want to look at the party treasure, it would just it might have just never been told to us, but it literally just says 46 dragon teeth and just hide, scales,
Crap.
claws.
I hate when that happens.
If you want to roll some kind of dice, it's up to you.
New mouse along with the new thing. It just accidentally backed me out of there. Sorry.
Ooh, with the button.
Yeah, new buttons. Cause basically I got a gaming keyboard to
Mhm.
replace the keyboard that's been broken for forever.
I will say gaming keyboards are nice, but make sure you get one with a numpad, depending on the games you play.
Yeah.
Mine does not have a numpad, and I liked playing squad, but now I can't play squad leader in squad. Because all the other buttons are used.
That stuff actually is on board the Stormy Jack. It's not in your bag of holding.
Oh, sorry, I read the party treasure and misread it. So that would be on the ship.
Yeah.
I will make sure to bring it tomorrow when we look at the sketches.
All right.
Just-
I'm trying to remember if I actually have a note to myself on that because I thought I told you how much you guys got.
Oh. And simply because, personally, I have no experience with ships, and you might have marginally more experience, feel free to give us an estimate on how large of a chunk of magnesium and what dimensions you think might work to best get through that hull. I'm thinking something that would go across multiple boards, causing the pressure to make it splinter open, possibly.
Oh, yes.
Like a large strip, but that would be more difficult for you, as opposed to one solid chunk.
And he starts nodding.
Whatever you think is plausible, let us know. And thank you once again.
Oh, yes. If you really have dragon scale, depending on how much you have, I might be able to give you a good chunk of gold for it.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
It would probably be paid out in platinum, of course. That'd be easier to transport.
Agreed.
Or we can make some deals for some equipment, but, yeah, if I had some dragon scale, I might be able to make a good set of dragon scale armor. That can be worth a lot of money to the right person.
And then I will leave with a shield for me and Dread.
Nice.
Do you know what Sentinel Shield does, Dread?
Yeah, I do.
Excellent.
Nice.
You now both have a sentinel shield.
Damn it! It's not in roll 20.
Hold on, let me
But
check.
not there.
The Sentinel feat is, but not the shield.
Yeah, it's not there.
That's weird. Let me check. It's also gonna take me a minute to figure out what shield is what. Let's see. Oh, it's called the. I think it's the one that's referred to. Nope, that's not that one shield. Never mind. So it's like maybe that it was the shield of Farsight, but that's not it.
No. While holding the shield, you have advantage on initiative rolls and wisdom perception checks. This shield is emblazoned with the symbol of an eye.
Yeah. No, it's just that all the other shields are here, and sometimes it's listed under a different name.
Yeah.
But no, I don't see it here either, which is very strange. Because it's not, I've got all the compendiums, so that should be there. But yeah.
Definitely quite happy about that, though. Oh, wait. The armor. I will pull out the armor while it's on my mind before we go.
Okay.
And I guess I'll kind of pull it out piecemeal since it was taken off of the person.
Are you still in the shop, or did you leave?
Yes, I'd be running back in like, oh, wait, one moment. Because I completely blanked about the armor.
What is it?
The suit of armor that we mentioned earlier, it completely slipped my mind.
Alright.
You needed to melt it down for materials. And I will take out the armor piecemeal.
Well, I'm saying is that I wouldn't buy it as armor. I'd buy it simply for its weight and material.
I know, but I need to pull it out for him to weigh it for the materials.
He's actually kind of surprised that you wish to sell it for scrap. Is basically what I'm getting at.
Oh. Genuinely, we have no use for it.
Alright.
Also, given the faction we think it was a part of, I personally have no clue if it has something attached to it. It might be something useful for you or something you know how to dispel.
Well, I can run a quick check on it to make sure that it's not magical.
I would for safety.
And he, pulls out a little pearl and starts to examine it with his identify spell. No, it seems to be quite benign.
All right. Then congratulations, you now have scrap metal.
Let's see, how much is he willing to give for this? Well, actually, this material's quite nice. I think it might hold the spell quite nicely. Again, I'll still have to melt it down and redo the work, but I can give you, let's say 800 gold for it.
That's all right with you, Captain?
I mean, we didn't pay for it, so great to.
Agreed. Though I will say,
So basically, you basically the equivalent of just traded that suit of armor for 2 sentinel shields.
yep. So I will say, based off of what happened to the last wearer of that armor, maybe add a decently strong gorget to that piece when you're done. Out of character, do you know what a gorget is?
Out of character, I do not.
It's, if I recall correctly, it's the little flared collar thing that goes around the neck. So
Yeah,
if it hits your
I was
shoulder,
thinking
it'll be
that's what it was too. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah. It's either that or it's the chainmail turtleneck bit.
Yeah, but it refers to something around the neck, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do have.
Go ahead.
If we were to give you the scales, dragon scale melt.
You're breaking up completely.
If we were to give you the scales to make dragon scale mail, how much would that cost?
Oh, you're looking to commission a set of dragon scale armor.
It's more just out of curiosity.
Well, assuming that you have enough scales to make the set, that will take some time, of course. But cost-wise, he thinks for a minute. Give me a sec. Let's see. Cost-wise, that would probably run you about that. He starts mumbling something to himself. But I could probably knock half the cost off due to materials. I don't know how long it would take, assuming you have the materials offhand, but I would be able to commission a piece for about 20,000 gold, if you would like.
Very good to know. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
We might make another stop here, depending on what we need after the schematics. But thank you for doing business.
All right.
Appreciated.
I will be able to quote you a price, assuming that we can come up with a good time scale after our meeting tomorrow.
Agreed. Thank you very much, and may your fire burn hot.
And thank you. And if you do need repairs, I can even look at you to see if they can be repaired.
Something I'll keep in mind. And we'll walk out to Volan and show off our shiny new shields. Or to Topaz, rather. And show off our shiny new shields.
Spectacular.
No getting up to trouble, Topaz. I got my eye on you.
What did you find out about how to burn magnesium?
He will work on some kind of sketch tonight, and I will come back tomorrow and see what kind of plan he has in mind. And he'll also come up with whatever layout of magnesium will work best.
Okay.
It sounds like it will most likely be mechanical as opposed to magical protection.
That's fine.
And if you can bear the heat at all, he looks like he had quite a few good pieces. And if we're able to sell the dragon hide and scales, which Volan seemed to be okay with at least thinking about, we might be able to get something essentially at no cost. They definitely specialize in defensive gear.
And how long are we in town?
I don't know. That would be up to you all and the captain.
I mean, I'd rather not stay here longer than absolutely necessary. We should probably head out as soon as we can.
Do we want to wait long enough for him to draft that up and develop it?
I'd say that's fine.
Anything we can think of that would help make that any downtime productive?
I mean, if any of you are good at bartering, we still have quite a few gold pieces we could probably earn. I mean, unless anybody wants a silver candelabra to decorate their room.
As snarky as Enola is, I feel like she would be the best bet. I'm not a smooth talker. Where's Enola?
She's been gone for a while.
That was in character.
Oh.
Keep an eye out for a feather.
So, did Zephyrus head to the museum alone, or did he take anybody with him?
He just went. If anybody followed him, he didn't mind. but he just went.
No, the only other person that would follow him would be Enola. Enola, are you with him, or did you just wander off?
I'm in search of a
Pet store. That's right. You're in search of a pet store. So Zephyrus, you've made it to the Museum of Madronis. A rather ancient building, at least in the front. Probably several thousand years old at this point. Like as it is with several of the buildings you've seen around here in the Palace District. There seem to be various families and students with books under their arms heading into the museum. Other people heading out. Looks like a fairly, popular spot here.
Cool. I'm going to go in and look for the curator of the museum.
There is a reception desk at the front. And, which would be where you would go to ask for directions. Let's see.
Mhm.
At the desk is a half-elf. Half-elf woman with, it's like kind of this strawberry blondish hair. Kind of in a, one of those, what's the hairdo with where the hair is kind of curled partly up on top of the head? I can't remember the name of that.
I don't know.
Why did my brain keep saying chiffon, but that doesn't sound right?
Well, anyway, I'll just ask her. Hello. I am here on an important business. I need to see the curator.
Well, the curator really isn't available to the general public. What's this
Oh
about?
no. I'm not the general public. I'm a curator myself. I'm here on official business.
From where?
Hold on. Jamestown?
Jamestown. This would be either a persuasion or a deception, depending.
All right. Oh no, why do I keep rolling bad?
I am unfamiliar with any place called Jamestown. At least not anywhere in Meeg that I'm aware of. And she kind of
Oh,
narrows her
well.
eyes a bit. I'm thinking that might be made up.
Well, that's unfortunate that you haven't heard of my town. It's very well. It's a small town, so it makes sense. That's okay. I mean, I do have a meeting with the curator. I don't know why.
I doubt that, or else you would have said that first thing.
So bad at this. I definitely do. Here, my name should be on the list of appointments that he might have, or wherever he keeps track of that.
She kind of folds her arms, gazing at you, kind of narrowing her eyes. You seem very suspicious. I would suggest that you turn around and go before I summon the guards.
Well,
The
that could work.
Arcanthum are in the area. You really don't want to deal with them.
Oh, all right. I understand. Just one more thing before I go. You wouldn't have to have something like this in your pull out my necklace with the shard on it.
Not that I am aware of.
Oh, okay. Well then. All right then. Bye.
You get some strange looks from some passersby that are heading off into the various galleries.
It's a good thing I didn't get too far with that line, because if they didn't have it and I went through all that trouble. Alright, yeah. I'm just leaving the museum now.
Alright, so on to Manola. Roll an investigation check, please, Manola.
Alrighty.
So as soon as you turn away from the others, you spot a pet shop across the street.
Great. I'ma go in.
It's called Many-Legged... What's it? Many-Legged Friends.
Okay. I'ma go in.
And you see that there are various cages and containers, some of which contain water. You see several octopi staring out at you from these enclosures. You pass by several tanks that have what look to be tarantula inside.
Ah, hell.
And you see another container that has several rats inside.
Quick. Alfie! What are you doing with your life? Stop it! Quick question. Are any of the octopi, made of stone?
No.
Damn it.
They're all normal octopi. None of them are marvelous.
Damn. Is there a black rat?
Yep, there are rats of several different colors in there. You see, like, black, kind of a reddish color, white, brown, gray.
Is there anybody that seems to be in charge?
Yes. In fact, there is a drow woman behind the counter.
Oh, holding a tarantula?
No, she's not holding one, but there is one sitting on her shoulder.
Hello.
Oh, hello there, dear.
Hi, how much are your rats?
Oh, the rats. So they're not much. I can sell you one for a silver.
Anola's eyes go wide. Volan knows! Well, I noticed that you have a black and a white one in there.
I have several colors, yes.
But may I take a look at the black and white one?
Sure.
The black one and the white one?
She comes out from around the counter and gently removes the tarantula from her shoulder and sets it down before heading off to the rat enclosure.
Anola is following, but like sideways so she can keep an eye on this tarantula. Real life agoraphobia.
Sorry.
You're good.
Do you mean arachnophobia?
What?
Do you mean arachnophobia, agoraphobia? You're afraid of...
Oh, sorry, I meant arachnophobia. I don't know
wide
why I
open
said
spaces.
agoraphobia. I have that too, but...
Yeah, I'm not very fond of wide open spaces, but... Yeah.
But yeah, I also have a arachnophobia.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Half my players do, and they scream at me whenever I throw giant spiders at them.
Notepad's not helping.
Anyway. She takes you over to the rat enclosure and pulls off the lid and gently scoops out the two rats that you spoke of, while the other ones kind of go squeak, 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 squeak. She pulls them in her hands.
Intently look at each one.
Let's see. One of them is currently trying to scurry up her arm. Which one is it? It is the white one, while the black one, with red eyes, peers up at you from her other hand. The white one is currently attempting to climb into her long sleeve.
I look up at her. May I hold this one?
She gently offers you the black rat with the red eyes.
I hold the black rat.
It goes squeak, 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 squeak at you.
Does it seem pretty friendly and confident?
Starts washing its whiskers.
So yes. I'll take her, please.
All right. She gently detaches the white rat from her arm and sets it back in the cage. 1 silver, please.
Well, I do have a quick question. Do you also sell, food and such?
Oh, yes. For 5 coppers, I can give you a bundle of food that should carry you through the week.
Perfect. And what about, like a small tank or enclosure?
Let's see how much you sell those for. For 5 silver, I can sell you a small enclosure.
Okay, I will take all of the above.
And by the time that nearby Cogsworth has come out with his prize shields that he spent hundreds and hundreds of gold on. You come out with your basically what boils down to less than a gold purchase for a rat, a small tank, and a week's worth of rat food.
So I would assume that someone would see my hat at this point.
Yes, and they're looking around for you now, and they spot you with the tank.
No,
Hey guys.
no. For
But-
why?
But no, look, I got an enclosure for her.
Don't tell me you spent money on that.
It was less than 1 gold.
I could have found you a rat on the ship.
Well, look how fucking good you did with the rat in the wall.
So you bought one?
Yes, I did.
That one doesn't have a disease.
Are we sure though?
I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it.
Just fucking keep it in your room. I don't want to see it.
I'm keeping it. You know, if you hadn't lied to me, we wouldn't be in this situation. If you would have actually asked the rat, and it could have said no, and then
I am going to maintain that it did say no.
Yeah, but you didn't ask it.
I did.
You are
Right.
lying.
So I'm glad we've all made very important purchases today. Where's Zephyrus?
Oh, he went to the museum.
Alone.
I think to try and steal a shard or something.
You let him go alone in disguise, with the explicit intent to steal. Intent to steal. Bleh.
Alfie!
That is very distracting. Is he okay, darling? Is he going insane again?
Spinning around in his bowl.
Aww.
I don't know what he's doing with his life.
He wants out of his enclosure.
I think he does, yeah. It's bath night anyway, so
Maybe he's itchy. He's waiting for his
he'll
bath.
he'll go for a swim, have a bath. Apparently make a carnival ride out of his food bowl. Hey, what'd you guys get?
Shields that will help protect us in combat.
Seems pretty worthless to me.
We'll see what happens when we get into combat and your rat runs away and hides in your hat and eats your feather.
That's okay, I'll put a new feather on it.
What if it eats the hat?
I'll buy a new hat.
Good to
So,
know.
were you guys looking for me or something? Is there something I can help you with?
Well, yeah, Cogsworth said that maybe you could help with this. Maybe you're good at speaking to people. I don't know.
Well,
Would you be able to help us catch some deals on these goods that we got?
Yeah,
Looking to sell things.
yeah, I'll help you. Captain,
Hmm.
can you hold my rat?
Absolutely not.
She's in her enclosure, though.
That's not my business.
But you want me to barter for you. And you can't hold my rat's cage?
To be fair, this coin is going to the group loot. You're free to take it onto the ship and put it in your room where I never see it again.
Yeah, but that'll take me longer. What if the store's closed?
I don't think they will.
Or what if somebody comes by with something similar to ours and they buy it and then the shopkeepers don't want to buy anything ours? I'm just saying, for
I'm
time's
sure a
sake,
bunch of people are walking around selling dragon parts.
I'm just saying, for
Slow
time's
industry.
sake.
Cogsworth, can you hold the rat?
You're
No.
scared of rats, aren't you?
No,
hold it.
I
You're
just.
scared of rats, aren't you?
I'm perfectly content with talking to them, but these are things you shoo
Didn't
off your
talk
ship.
to her.
To my knowledge, rats are surprisingly intelligent. If raised properly, you can train them. They're basically like a dog you can hold in one hand without
Except
hurting it.
except smaller with sharper teeth and disease.
That part.
Then they don't inherently have a disease, just like a dog.
It's like a halfling.
Like a
Dread,
seal?
would you hold my rat?
Who?
Dread.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sell out.
It's not like I'll catch a disease at any point.
Divine help.
Okay, what am I selling? Where are we going?
Well,
Should probably sense on that rat, make sure it's not actually a fiend in disguise.
Kind of look at the rat and look at Topaz and I say, it's not a fiend in disguise.
Did you do your divine sensey thing?
No, I can just tell by looking at it, it's not a fiend in disguise.
Yeah, you can't tell by looking at it any more than we could tell what Carly was.
Fine. Is it actually a fiend in disguise if I use divine sense?
No, it's just a rat.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Okay, so what am I selling? Where are we going?
well, we have a number of odd goods, kind of gemmed stuff, silver, gold, some amber pieces.
Valuable.
Yeah.
Alright, where you want to go try and sell this at?
Should we go and get the dragon things first or save that for tomorrow?
I'd say save it for tomorrow. We're heading that way anyway.
Okay. That's what we have and needs to be sold.
2 amber pieces, silver bracelet, and gem belt.
There's 2 messages there, darling.
Oh,
Yeah. It lumped them separately. I think because of the spaces between the enters.
okay. Is there a like a home decor shop anywhere?
Given
Roll investigation.
If I may, just a thought, given the golden tortoise and the silver candelabra and the bracelet, we might want to go back to the snooty area where they didn't want to look at us. And the belt.
hadn't actually gotten to the snooty area yet. You're basically, when you were asking around in the palace district, you kind of figured that the people weren't telling you anything in the snooty area because they assumed you didn't have money.
I know, but I'm thinking with the names and descriptions of some of these items,
Okay.
the snooty stores might be more likely to buy them.
Well, I'm following you guys, so. We just gonna stand here and twiddle our thumbs, or what are we gonna do?
I will attempt to find a snooty home goods store.
All right. You head back across the various bridges. And you make it across the first making it across the tall bridge between the palace district and the market district, and then across a much lower bridge which you don't think any of the ships and whatnot could possibly get past. Right past the government buildings and towards the upper crust area. You find that most of the shops and restaurants and such are in the southern section of this particular district, right north of where the diplomats to various other countries happen to be living well in town. And poor Nola seems to be completely lost, unable to find any type of shop that matches anything she's looking for.
I will ask someone that doesn't look like they're too all up in themselves. They might be willing to give directions to someone.
All right. Yes. What do you want? Strange metal person?
I do apologize for bothering you, but we are looking for someone that might be able to take some goods off of our hands, and I was wondering if you knew a good.
You talking about a
good Lord,
charity
Lord.
shop?
If I had a heart, that might be hurtful. No, I'm looking for more quality pieces, a place that might accept more quality pieces from our travels. Given the caliber of your character, I doubt we'd be willing to sell something to you, so I'll find directions elsewhere.
Oh, you're looking for a consignment shop.
Sure.
All right then. Well, there's one a bit down. Well, actually, roll a persuasion check. I should say.
Not the worst, but not the best.
Well, there is a shop called Old is New, down the street. It's right
I'll take
near
that into account.
by a few cafes. It's mostly specializes in antiques.
I honestly don't know how old these things are. Maybe it'll be of interest.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
You look like a very, very intelligent man.
Are you still carrying around the rat, by the way?
Dread.
Dread is.
Oh, Dread is. Okay.
Yeah.
And you look like. I bet you have a very well kept house. Do you not, sir?
I'm not taking you to my house, if that is what you're
No,
asking.
sir. No. Absolutely not. I just think that some of the things that we have, might interest you. If I may have just a moment of your time, I would like to just show you a couple things of what we have.
No, thank you. I am on my way to somewhere else.
All
And
right,
he's like
I guess you
edging
don't want.
away.
I guess you don't want life everlasting, Amber, but that's fine.
He just kind of gives you a weird look and starts edging away.
Kept someone alive for 1,000 years. Didn't age.
Run, run while you can.
I'm not kidding. Sir?
Maybe we should have had her take her rat back to the ship.
Yeah.
Sir? What about tapestries? I have some lovely tapestries for you.
The
What
man,
about your jam?
the man looks like he's about ready. Like he is moving far, far away, and he's got this
A
look in his
golden
eye that makes it
portal!
look like he might be about to call the guard on you.
Wood elves eat brains.
I'm going to turn around and begin walking down the street where I was directed, old as new, as quickly as possible without looking unreasonable.
I would have given you a 2-for-1 deal.
Have I made it back?
Actually, roll a perception check. You just kind of miss the party and have no idea where they are currently.
Great. I'm so glad I'm so good at rolling above a 10.
You should see the you should see Grizz's alternating Saturday campaign. The guy has +10 to perception, has not rolled above a 10 for ages on perception.
Yeah. He's like,
Except
"Are
for-
you kidding me?" That just reminds me of at the scene in the pet shop. I could have sworn he has several pets, but I don't think we've heard from them in a while. It's like, I wonder if that druid is feeding them or not. But anyway, you're heading down to the shop.
Yes, please.
All right. So, you've been pointed out to the shop. Old is new. And by the way, if I vanish all of a sudden, it's because my power has suddenly gone off.
Oh no.
Yeah, so.
Do we need to take a quick fiver?
No, we're nearly out of time anyway. It's just that if I suddenly vanish, I probably won't attempt to be getting back because my power will have gone off.
Okay.
It's starting to storm pretty bad out there. So, you find the shop. Old is new. It's a very quaint store that has